you know, I should say that the larger part of the farm that had been doing wholesale was there to kind of support the CSA when it got started. The farm actually lost money on the CSA when we first started, just because of, you know, it wasn't feasible for the cost we were putting into it for only 126 members. So the second year we had about 1,500 members, over 1,000 members, and this past year we had over 3,000. So what that's done is it's actually come to the point now where the CSA is supporting the farm. And so this kind of where I'm going with this is it's a really sustainable model of food production and of farming, and of a really sustainable model, food system, I should say. And that's what we're after, is to really create something that not only connects people with where their food comes from, but that's more sustainable economically and environmentally. Because as a farm, you know, when you're growing crops, especially in Colorado, when the growing season isn't all year round, basically your revenue is coming from, say, 4 months out of the year. And so the rest of the time, during the winter, when you're preparing for seed and preparing the fields and buying seed, you know, you don't have any revenue coming in from the crops you're selling. So a lot of times farms are having to take out loans, and that type of thing. We've been able to turn it around now to where the support from our members who are paying up front for their share for the growing season is actually supporting the farm. You know, before, so we essentially have found that market for our produce before the growing season actually comes. So it's a neat sustainable model in that respect.
Are you still wholesaling?
Yep, we are.
Who are your customers?
We sell to some to Albert Organic, Whole Foods, I'm not sure if you are familiar with some others.
Whole Foods is the one
Whole Foods, H&B. I think there's some places in the West. We're trying to move more towards just Colorado as time, you know, goes on, to make, just because it makes more sense environmentally too, with the carbon footprint. So, and that's, the CSA has helped with that as well, to drastically reduce the carbon footprint. So that's a neat environmental impact as well. I don't know how many of you have read Barbara Kingsolver's Animal Vegetable Miracle, or heard of that book. It's a great book, if you get a chance to check it out. She quotes in there, she says, I believe if every U.S. citizen, or every American ate on average just one meal a week composed of local ingredients, it would cut back on, I think it's over 1 million barrels of oil per week that we use to transport food. And so you think about not gallons but barrels per week. It's pretty amazing the impact that every little action can have. So that's why, you know, I'm excited to see we get 3,000 more people or 100 more people, however many, eating locally out of a box of veggies they get from the farmer every week. That has a huge, over time, that can have a huge impact. And economically, I'll point out too, one neat thing about the CSA is it's, you know, by joining a CSA, you're feeding your food dollars right into the local economy. And so that's, for example, at our farm, it's created, we have about 18 people working for the CSA now on our farm. So it's created all those new jobs right in the local economy by, you know, that our members have essentially helped create by feeding their dollars right into the local economy. So, yeah.
Where is it located?
The farm is about 15 miles north of Fort Collins, out by Wellington. So, any other questions before I move on?
Do you ever have a sort of a conflict between meeting your obligations to the wholesalers and to the CSA members because of a yield or poor yield or anything like that? How do you do that?
It's a good question. Actually, Andy would probably